As we hit 4 o'clock, we start with breaking news. Denver Fire saying at least 2 people have been hurt in a shooting that happened within the last hour. The fire department says 2 victims walked up to their fire station on South Federal in Kentucky needing help.
Sky 9 is over the scene right now. We don't know where the actual shooting happened, but this is a really busy area near the firehouse. There are parks, there are homes, stores, restaurants nearby, and a busy time of day for that matter. Let's get to 9 News reporter Rachel Krause. She is joining us live from the scene. Rachel, what more can you add?
Yeah, Kim, we're here right at Kentucky and Federal, near where that shooting was reported. And just across the street where those 2 gunshot victims showed up, you can see Denver police have much of this area here at this gas station and strip mall area blocked off. Along with this strip mall, there's a national insurance shop, a corner store, and a Chinese restaurant. And we've seen, as police have crime scene tape off, much of the entire parking lot here. And then we've seen as they've been talking to witnesses here in the area. Now, here's what we know about what happened. A call came in around 3:30 this afternoon that 2 gunshot victims had shown up here at this fire station just across the street from that gas station area here at Federal Boulevard. We know that at least 2 victims did show up for assistance here to the fire station. We don't know right now just how serious their injuries are or how serious those injuries are here at this hour. We are continuing to push for answers from both the Denver Fire Department and the Denver Police Department. Anyone with any information about what happened is asked to contact police.
Rachel, thank you. We know you'll continue to stay on this story, follow it through the evening. But again, that's South Federal and Kentucky in that area. And we've had some images from Sky 9. It's a busy area. Traffic's going to be bad no matter what.
Right so there by,
we hope everyone is okay in general. Thank goodness the fire station was so close by.
Yeah, Fire Station 23 right there across the street.
He was so talented. I called him our musical genius here in the building.
Musicians and dancers from across Colorado honoring an Arvada composer who was killed by a suspected drunk driver in February. Creston Wolf was driving home with his 2 kids when police say a man ran a red light and hit them.
Tonight, only on 9 News, his wife is speaking with 9 News reporter Evan Krugel about the musical legacy he leaves behind.
Kim, Creston Wolf was rarely seen without an instrument in hand. The father of 2 was a well-known composer for the Colorado Ballet, where efforts are underway to make sure his music lives on. The best musicians have a way of making people feel moved. A gift Creston Wolf was known for as a composer for the Colorado Ballet.
He was out of this world. I have never met somebody like him.
Alicia Wolf saw every side of Creston's musical genius, from the professional work to the jam sessions at home with their 2 kids.
They would sit on the couch and play guitar, and he would give, one kid a mandolin and the other kid the ukulele, and they would just sit on the couch for, whenever they had an extra minute. He was able to listen to a song one time and he could just play as if it was something he'd listened to his whole life.
But on February 5th, that life came to a sudden end after Arvada police say a man who had been drinking ran a red light, crashing into Creston and his 2 kids.
That was the worst day of my life. All I could think of is my husband okay? Is he in it? Are my kids okay? And it was there that the very kind police officer told me, I'm sorry, but your husband is deceased. Your kids are on the way to Denver Health and in an ambulance.
The news brought the ballet and artistic director Gil Boggs to a standstill.
Creston had a thing for papier-mâché cranes. And so we took a pause, and we literally, classes became students sitting, making papier-mâché cranes, and the goal was to make 1,000. Music is so important to dancers, and I think they learned from Creston, how to listen to it.
Nearly 2 months later, music has returned to the studios, where Creston's work was featured at a recent concert.
They were given, the option of using Creston's music, and every choreographer chose a selection of his music and created to that. And, fortunately, Alicia was here to see that as well.
The concert left Gil
emotional,
nearly speechless.
Spectacular, though, and the kids just, as they spoke about him, you could tell how much they just loved him and what he'd done.
In the people that he's left behind and the music that he's left behind, 100% I would say that his symphony is still playing.
Now, both kids are back home recovering from those injuries. Alicia tells me physically both are doing okay. The driver that hit them remains in custody. He's facing charges including driving under the influence and vehicular homicide.
Clearly, Evan, when you say physically they're doing okay, that certainly leaves a lot that is still needing to be processed.
It does. They're obviously having a tough time coming to grips with what happened, and she's dealing with this and trying to explain that to them at the same time.
Try to mom and grieve yourself. But what a gifted artist, and thank you for sharing that. So many times we have these tough stories, and we just need to remember the person and what they left us.
Yeah, absolutely. And she said that's what's important here, is that musical legacy continues to live on.
And it
The
does.
Danish community, because he is very supportive, right? He has relatives in Denmark.
He's
even?
from there originally, and our reporting from February when this initially happened made its way across the pond. A fundraiser they put together over there has raised over $180,000 for this family. So lots of great community support there.
They need it.
You bet.
Thank you, Evan. Sure. 3 people were hurt walking in a crosswalk at Evanston University when a car hit them about 7:30 this morning. The 3 people hit were taken to the hospital. Denver police say 2 of them have serious injuries, but they're expected to survive. The driver stayed on the scene and was cited for careless driving.
It's April 3rd. We finally made it. Take a live look outside. Those beautiful blue skies. Well, the temperatures finally got up to a serious benchmark. The clouds, well, they tried to keep us from getting to 70 this year. But Kathy, we persevered.
Do we get the first day?
We did.
Yay!
Yeah, Denver,
You're the
you are
confetti.
an overachiever because I had it for tomorrow. I think you guys remember that. I had upper 60s for today. I thought, oh, I don't know,
But it's Wednesday and we needed it.
right? And that means it's only going to be warmer for Thursday and for Friday. And the evening drive just getting underway and really just a beautiful spring day. Some areas seeing some wind this afternoon, and that's going to be a feature we'll be talking about heading into the weekend. Glorious blue skies way up high, a little snow and some of the peaks up that way. We have sunshine and 70s right through the end of the week, but this is ahead of a weekend storm that may bring some rain and snow to some areas on Saturday and Sunday. And then we're going to have wind really ramp up ahead of that system on Friday. So 68 now, down from 70 out at DIA, 73 in Pueblo, 73 in Lamar, 71 in Greeley. Winds right now, kind of a north to northeast flow. We have a dominant ridge of high pressure keeping the storm track to the north. Remember that storm earlier in the week that brought the Grauple, the rain, the hail? That's it there, spinning over St. Louis and Cincinnati. Also, there's another system offshore from California, and that's the one that we're tracking for the weekend. Beautiful for the next couple of days, but a whole lot of wind on Friday ahead of a cooler, unsettled Saturday and Sunday. The Rockies home opener is this week. Let's hope that them coming home is going to be a good luck charm for them. We'll talk about the weather for Friday opening day and, of course, your weekend. That's coming up.
A family in Douglas County didn't hesitate when a doctor told them their 11-month-old needed a helicopter transport to another hospital. But then came a $60,000 bill. The Burdett family had rushed to Children's Hospital Highlands Ranch with the daughter Millie. A doctor told them she needed more care and they would need to be taking her by helicopter to Children's Hospital's main campus in Aurora. She was treated, recovered, and released a few days later. But then came the bill. The Burdett's insurance said they wouldn't pay it because Millie wasn't sick enough.
When a family's in a hospital with a critically ill baby, like, you're not going to pull out your insurance handbook and be like, hey, hold on, doc. We need to make sure that we're ticking all these boxes before we order this helicopter.
The Burdett's went back and forth with their insurance company, and then they called Steve on your side. We're going to hear the full story coming up tonight on 9 News at 9 and 10. Topping world news this afternoon, the most powerful earthquake to hit Taiwan in a quarter century has killed at least 9 people.
Yeah, the quake measured at 7.4, and that's according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The earthquake started during the morning rush hour, hurting over 1,000 people, and people felt the tremors more than 100 miles away. It triggered tsunami warnings in the Philippines, Japan, as well as China. Many people are trapped on blocked roads and inside some of the partially collapsed buildings you can see here. Dozens of aftershocks have followed as well. Now rain is in the forecast, and that makes rescue efforts even more complicated. Take a look at this. The cameras were rolling during a news station's live broadcast. This is Taipei. Anchors kept on speaking, delivering the news. Meanwhile, the studio visibly shaking. The lights could be seen swaying overhead. Earthquake warning graphics were appearing on the screen during the reporting as well.
And imagine being in a pool during an earthquake. This video is going viral across social media. A man in a rooftop pool when the quake hit. You can see the shocks creating just huge waves. In another viral video, you can see the water cascading down a high rise from the rooftop pool.
As you look at that situation, and having been in aftershocks, the only problem with aftershocks is when you're in an area after an earthquake, is you don't know they're an aftershock till they're overward.
Right.
And there have been so many of them, significant aftershocks in Taiwan, in the 5s and 6s. So they're having a real tough time right now.
Plus, things are already unstable, so you're thinking, what's going to go next when you have a serious aftershock?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that in Taiwan.